A lot of times I tell people the biggest thing that causes weight gain and poor health is
You didn't start a business to put out fires, but here you are, holding the extinguisher. Business isn't theory, it's pressure, late nights, tight margins, the thing that keeps breaking no matter how many times you fix it. When the room's on fire, the amateurs shout, the pros stay calm. That's the Fixers and Founders way. Part discipline, part rebellion. We walk into broken systems, find the pulse, and make it run clean. Because calm isn't weakness. Calm is a strategy. We're operators, builders, problem solvers. Born from the grind. Built for the builders. Join us now as we chat with fixers and founders just like you. Let's jump in.
Welcome to Fixers and Founders, where vision meets velocity. I'm Tony.
I'm Forrest.
If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, how did I get this far off track? Not just physically, energy, discipline, confidence, momentum. Because for a lot of founders, operators, and busy dads, health becomes the thing that quietly slips while everything else keeps moving. Well, today's guest matters. Blake Martin spent more than 15 years inside the medical device world with companies like Stryker, Integra, and Arthrex before walking away to build something more personal. Now, through Telomere, he helps formerly fit dads rebuild their health with systems that actually fit real life, not extreme routines, internet gimmicks, or motivational fluff. He combines clinical testing, coaching, body composition analysis, nutrition, and accountability. If you've built a business but lost yourself somewhere along the way, this conversation is for you. Let's get it done.
Blake, I'm excited to have you here. I know we've been friends for a while, and you've been a customer. I've been a customer. We've traded business, so it's great to have you here.
it's always a pleasure. I appreciate you guys having me.
Of course. So that was a great intro. Lots of years, 15 years in the medical device industry. Tell me about what it looked like before pivoting into health and coaching, wellness, entrepreneurship. What pushed you to make that change from device sales and device industry into health coaching?
Yeah, I think it was COVID. During COVID, we had about 8 weeks that we couldn't go into the hospital, and I just had a lot of time to think and reflect, and starting a business is something I always wanted to do. My dad always had his own business, and I just assumed that I would, and I got a medical device job in my late 20s, and then we started a family, and it was just kind of one of those things. I was making money that was good enough, and we just kept having kids, and life keeps going. And all of a sudden, I'm 10 years into this career, and I liked it. It was fine, but it just was never like I always envied the guys when I would go to a national sales meeting and they'd bring the guys who were having like 15, 20-year work anniversaries, bring them up on stage, and they talk about how much they love the company and all this stuff. And I was like, man, like I'm jealous of those guys. 'Cause I don't feel that at all. I just was never like a big corporate guy. And so when COVID happened and spending a lot of time reflecting, I was like, it was right about the time I turned 40. So I guess that's midlife crisis too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, am I really going to just go my whole career doing something that, I like at best, but I don't get any like real fulfillment out of? Or am I going to take a shot and do something that is very meaningful to me? And, I didn't want to get to my 60s or 70s, be at like the end of my career and think like, you just never even gave it a shot. So talk about the pivot. That was kind of the pivot. I tried a lot of little side hustles along the way, and some people are side hustle people. They can do that. I was not. Every time I diverted my attention away from my med device job, it slipped a little bit, and not giving the side hustle the full attention never worked well for me. They just didn't go anywhere. Ended up all being a waste of my time and money. And so I was like, if I'm going to do this, got to burn the boats and go for it. And so that's what I did.
That's cool. Very cool.
That's the spirit. Blake, thanks for being here. You specifically focus on formerly fit dads. What patterns do you see over and over again in that group?
Yeah. A lot of times I tell people the biggest thing that causes weight gain and poor health is life. And you see this, and it's not just with men. Like I just because I'm a man, I tend to work with more men, but you just see a common pattern. People get busy in their careers, building their careers. If you do have a family and kids, a lot of times like your health really it's not an intentional thing. It just kind of happens. Like you got so much stuff going on, and if you're not somebody that really that it just naturally comes to them to want to focus on health and fitness, like that stuff just kind of gets pushed back to the side while you're building that business, getting home at the end of the day. You got to run kids around, you're coaching the baseball team, it just all that type stuff. And then all of a sudden, guys get into their late 30s and 40s and they didn't even realize that they put on 30 or 40 pounds and don't feel well at all. And it's like, crap, now what do I do? Some people are able to just turn it around real quick and get exercising and clean up their diet. And, but that's really a minority of people. Most of the time, by that time, there's a lot of other issues going on internally, just some chronic disease precursors have set in, and there's some big time work to do. That's the most common thing that I see is just people getting so busy in life that just their health kind of takes a back seat because it's not like you have to pay a mortgage, or something like that.
Yeah, it answers the question beautifully. Tragically, ironically, that it's just a matter of things slipping.
Yep, life happens. I think that's the summary of all that.
There's another saying that goes like that too.
Yeah, it's different words, but the same connotation sometimes. But Blake, you and I've talked about this. I know in the past, there's so much noise in health and fitness right now. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. But what do most people get wrong about sustainable transformation? Not just a quick hit, lose 10 pounds, and then you gain it back 6 weeks later.
Yeah, I mean that it takes a whole mindset shift not to be like I need to lose 20 pounds or I just need to lose 30 pounds and then my knees will quit hurting or something like that. It really just has to be part of your life. And the people that do that really well and get in shape and maintain good health, and then you can really see this once people get in their 60s and 70s, the ones that did do this for a long time and then the ones that didn't, it is a striking difference. But the people that get into their 60s and 70s and still are in good health and feeling good, moving good, they're the ones that just committed to a sustainable, nothing crazy, like just regular exercise, being conscious and aware of what you eat. Because not everybody cares about, having a six pack or, doing something extreme for that. Most people just want to wake up, feel good throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
not have to take 4 or 5 medications and live their life. But in order to do that, like you do have to concentrate and make it a priority just for regular exercise and really the diet's the biggest driver for all of that. But
Absolutely.
I would definitely say the mindset shift of not just I need to do X and then I'm fine, because that's what ends up causing the yo-yo diets and weight gain. A lot of people lose the same 30 pounds 10 times over a 20-year period. So I went to Auburn. I got a lot of respect for Nick Saban. I hated that he was like the football coach at Alabama. But, when he talked about the process, like it wasn't ever about winning a football game. It was doing the things daily that when you do that, the outcome kind of takes care of itself. And
Right.
unfortunately, there's a lot of crossover like with your health and that. Yeah, atomic habits. Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
when you stop focusing on the outcome, on the I've got to lose 40 pounds, and then take that out of the equation. And when you're looking over the long term, just doing those daily habits every day that a healthy person would do ends up paying off.
Well said. So, Blake, once you get that daily discipline down and you want to get a bit more advanced, you use these technologies like DEXA scans, CO2 max testing, metabolic analysis, and coaching. What do those tools reveal that people usually miss or aren't aware of?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that. So here's one in general. If you just go to like your primary care doctor, they're going to talk about your BMI. So your body mass index. That just takes your weight, compares it to your height, puts a number to it. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't talk anything about what your body is made up of. So muscle or fat. And so when we do a DEXA scan, we are able to see how much body fat you have compared to muscle, how much visceral fat you have, which is the bad fat that gets packed in around your organs. That's the one that is driving heart attacks. And almost anybody that you know that has a heart attack has got a lot of visceral fat.
And let me ask you too, Blake, because I've seen this, with folks that I know. You can have visceral fat and not be outwardly fat appearing.
Yeah, no, that is true. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen too often, but it definitely can. I mean, I've had a couple people who were in really good shape and they were real happy coming to do their DEXA scan because I get a lot of like fitness enthusiasts that want to do it too because they work hard at exercising and they like to see a report that shows that like they've got a lot of muscle and low body fat. And there's one guy that always stands out to me. He was in his mid 50s and he was about 17% body fat, which is really good for a guy that age. He barely had visible abs. He really wanted to show me, Anyway, he was very happy with himself. We do the scan and he had like 4 pounds of visceral fat, which is a lot, way more than I would have suspected. And so that kind of opened the door for a conversation. He was like, what do you think could have driven this? And there's a million things that could, I can't say I can pinpoint that. But as we talked about his diet, I mean, his diet was mostly this really overly processed protein bars and shakes and stuff. And that's what he relied on for most of his food intake. And I was like, man, like, you're not eating any real food, so he thought he was doing the healthy thing with that. And, we just always try to make it really simple with people. It's like single ingredient whole foods is the standard. It's impossible. Nobody does that 100%. I don't myself, but like if that is what you strive to do, then when you miss that mark, or, hopefully you miss it small. The problem is most of our diets now are 80 or 90% of these ultra processed foods leads to all kinds of issues, but visceral fat is one of the main drivers for that.
Oh, that's a great PSA. Thanks for the reminder. Good word.
So I know you're working with primarily men. I think we talked about obviously some women in there too, but a lot of the men are high performers and tie their identity. Don't mention my name, Blake, because I know I'm one of those people that you're working with. Tie their identity to productivity and work. How does that mindset affect their long-term health?
It depends on how they channel it. If what I always try to do is encourage people like take the discipline that you have in this one area of your life and we got to try to get it to spill over in another because almost nobody I work with is lazy. It's just all their discipline and focus is usually in their business. And some of them are really good dads too. And it's all on their kids and their family, which is great. The thing is, it's almost selfish though, if you're doing that, not to take care of yourself, because at some point you're going to put those people that you love, or in the business context, the people who are relying on you, if you're a business owner or high up in a company, you're going to put them in a really bad spot if you wind up having a heart attack and God forbid something happens. So what I try to tell them is just by making that a priority is really one of the most unselfish things that you can do, because everybody's going to be better off the healthier that you are.
Yep. Agreed.
So last question, we'll get into a couple of wildcard questions. We can get on with the weekend. Again, thanks for joining us today, Blake. Should anyone want to get with you, get a scan, get an analysis, look into some coaching, what's the best way that they can connect with you?
Yeah, they can go to telomere.pro. That is our new website. Thanks to Forrest and a few others, I've gotten pretty active on LinkedIn, so you can find me there and try to post something at least about every day on that.
You're doing
Always
great. Keep doing a
always
great
enjoy
job.
connecting with people there. So
So Telomere Pro, TELOMERE.pro. Go check it out. So for the founder or the operator that's listening right now, and I'm sure there's got to be at least one that feels like they completely fell off physically, what's the first thing that they should do like today, right now?
go in their calendar, and the same way you would block off a meeting for your number one customer, for your team meeting that, your L10 that does not get moved, you block off that time for yourself to get some exercise.
I love it. Time
That is
blocks.
just the
I'm
number
a time
one.
block evangelist. I know. So you're going to put that time block on right now. Everybody's going to pull out their phone and put it on their calendar if it's not there already. And of course, you got to have a playlist. If you're going to get out and get it at all active, what is one song that you can throw on that instantly changes your mood and gives you some energy?
Oh man. I was working out this morning and I was thinking I probably have the most like wide variety of songs I listen to.
Eclectic.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, Thunderstruck with
Oh, yeah.
AC/DC is just, I mean, if that doesn't get you going, or Enter Sandman by Metallica, then I think you're dead.
I can dig it.
I can dig that too.
I can dig it.
All right, music, but let's talk about food because I know you eat healthy because I've spent plenty of meals with you eating and even fishing, eating while we're fishing. But what is the ultimate cheat meal that you refuse to give up? I mean, there's got to be something bad that you eat that you will not give up, and you'll work out run a couple extra miles after you do that, whatever it is. But what is that cheat
Man,
meal?
pizza's my thing. I love
Pizza?
it.
Okay.
What I've stopped doing is eating like crappy bad pizza that,
Yes.
like,
There you go.
I mean, not like trying to dog Little Caesars or anything, but like I eat pizza that is good and it's worth it. Our favorite place here is Section Street Pizza in
All right.
Fairhope, and I mean, I'll roll out of that place, man, and it's
Tony?
worth every bite.
So
Tony,
you
I'm
got to
with-
know. I mean, you can't bring up pizza without talking about toppings. What's on that pizza, Blake?
Dude, I literally will eat anything. Like, I love a cheese pizza as much as I love like a Supreme or Meat Lovers, and that's not a lie. So
I'm with you.
usually it just depends. If my wife and if it's just us out, we'll get like a Hawaiian. That's her favorite,
go.
and I love it. If it's my kids, we'll be getting half cheese, half pepperoni and sausage, and it's all good.
What about when you just get one to yourself? What's the go-to?
Usually I just do a pepperoni.
Right on.
Yeah,
Very
Chicago
classic.
deep dish is my favorite though, like of all time.
I was born in Chicago. Intimate knowledge of the deep dish and the thin crust, though.
Yeah, for Christmas 2 years ago, my family got one of the restaurants up there. They'll pack them in dry ice and ship them. I can't remember
Like
the name.
Lou Malnati's, Giordano's, maybe Lou Malnati's. I bet you, Giordano's.
Yeah, I knew if I heard the name, I would remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like 4 of them, and it was awesome.
Awesome. That's good stuff. I'll take you to Section Street Pizza when you get down here in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
It's a good place to eat.
Well, let's all go.
Yeah, the three of us. We'll make it a date. For sure. All right, that was Blake Martin. A reminder that performance isn't just about business. At some point, the systems you build for work have to exist for your health too. Blake's work shows that getting back in shape doesn't require becoming someone else. It requires structure, honesty, and a plan you can actually sustain. If you've been telling yourself to get back to it someday, this might be your sign. I'm Forrest.
I'm Tony.
And this has been Fixers and Founders.
Oh, my darlings, look at you. Still here with me till the end. That's how I know you're one of us. The fixers, the founders, the ones who build in the chaos and still manage to laugh through it. Drop a comment, share your sparks, and connect with each other. This is where the net weaving begins. Like, share, and subscribe to keep the fire blowing. Until next time.